And so we're going to offer this kata to the stupa. We're going to place it around the flowers for now because the stupa is a little large. And this is an offering. It's actually pretty small, but it's an offering for the stupa from us. Okay, to you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, and all of you pilgrims. This is such an honor to have you here and to hear this great Mahamudra prayer in the presence of our center. It's deeply moving, and I hope you may all return, please. Please, you always have a home here, so please come back to
Thank you.
And may we travel with you in spirit.
차동 고로규에게 보던 진동께 보삼부상계동 강락한데 대라대든바.
When I think about the Stupa pilgrimage we're doing here, what I'm thinking about is how unique it is, really, in the history of Buddhism in America. We are actually meeting the people who built these stupas. That's incredible. The first Tibetan Buddhist stupas began to be built in the United States in the 1960s, and many of the people who built them are still alive. And so for me, the idea of meeting the people is pretty exciting. There have been other small stupa tour groups and small pilgrimages of people coming to these places. But as we've been doing the pilgrimage what I've noticed is that the people who built the stupas are saying to us, wow, we didn't know that what we did was so important. We didn't know that what we created was going to be a magnet for other practitioners, because they felt so alone when they were building them. And out here in the vast open spaces of the American Southwest, I could see how they would feel that way. But when I think about what we're doing here, we're doing something, we're starting something. We're starting to the idea of bringing people on a journey of personal discovery, because there's that outer Buddha, the Buddha that we think about as being the enlightened one who we all place our hands together in prayer toward. There's the outer Buddha, who is actually represented by, and I guess you could say lives in, and is radiated from the stupa. The Buddha's mind is indestructibly there, the outer Buddha. And then there's the inner Buddha, the Buddha that is within us, the Buddha that is the nature of our mind, that resonates when we get close to a stupa. People, when they circumambulate the stupa, it's as though they themselves are becoming one with the mind of the Buddha, in a way. In a way, it's as though the Buddha's mind is open to them, and their mind is open to the Buddha. When we heard from Paul Kloppenberg, one of the builders of the Creststone Stupa, and he put it this way, he said, the stupa is like a dynamo, and the people who visit it, their faith and devotion is what energizes it. And so that's what I think about when I think about the specialness of this particular pilgrimage.
Om Tare Tudare Turi Saha. 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 Om Tare Tudare Om Tare Tudare Turi Saha. 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 Om Tare Tudare Turi Saha
When I first heard of Lama Kathy's Stupa pilgrimage on the KTD blog, it was for me instantaneous. I want to go. I am called to go. I've had the previous opportunities of going to pilgrimage to India and Nepal and even Tibet. And now I'm a little bit older, and I just felt that this was the right scope, the right timing for a pilgrimage here in the States. And we've been on this pilgrimage for 3 days now, and it has been the most spacious, rejuvenating, and gentle experience I've had on Dharma Path, in my Dharma Path. Sanghas we have visited have been just wonderfully kind and passionate to us, and my fellow pilgrims I have gotten to know from all over the country, all the way from Minnesota to Texas to West Virginia, and I am most grateful for the opportunity to share in this experience to benefit all beings.
And this has been rejuvenating for me, and I aspire that it will help increase my connection to my practice as I journey into my old age, that I can use the teachings that have been given to me, all the wonderful teachers that I've had, including Trungpa Rinpoche and His Holiness Karmapa.
So this has been a very special pilgrimage. It's the first pilgrimage I've ever been on, but it's amazing. Everything seems to have worked out really well. Storms have sort of passed around us. Rain has not stayed with us for very long, and I've been able to make some very great aspirations along the way in some of these very special holy places. I mean, just the architecture alone here is amazing, and being able to go through this with all of these great people and to meet these great lamas and spend all this time with members of the Sangha is just amazing. So.
Pilgrimage is opening your heart to the divine, exposing every part of yourself, and hoping that the universe and you can bond in a way that you're really already connected, but you can have that realization to know that your Buddha nature is the same Buddha nature, it's all Buddha nature. And going on pilgrimage, I hope I can surrender myself sufficiently to be touched by that blessing.
So pilgrimage, for me personally, on this particular pilgrimage, I feel very connected to my greater spiritual community and my family, who I kind of brought on pilgrimage with me to these sacred holy places and representations of the Buddha's mind. It's amazing to me. I've been on pilgrimage in India many years ago, and being here in America at these sacred sites holds as much power and blessing in my experience as being in the sacred sites of the Buddha in India. And this is really extraordinary. I really am actually surprised. I feel that being on pilgrimage, especially with these stupas, this is an amplification of our own aspirations and a very profound, deep purification, which all pilgrimages, I think, are. And also, there are all these holy beings who made their own aspirations for us and for all sentient beings. So we're connecting to those aspirations, and that's very tangible and very clear. And I think all the pilgrims, all the friends that I'm making and have been talking to also feel their mind being more and more clear as we visit all these stupas, and kind of intensifying seeing what we need to purify, what our intentions are, and this is really special. So it also, I've done some retreat, and it feels a bit similar, even though we're not sitting and doing as much sitting practice. The practice we do together is so, again, very amplified and feels very potent. So I'm really grateful that I'm able to come, and grateful to all sponsors in all ways. And so it's all.
So I'm Susan Pasternak. I'm from Woodstock, New York, and I've been a Dharma practitioner for over 30 years with KTD, up in Woodstock. And I've always been on my way to India or Nepal or somewhere for a pilgrimage, and I never got there for a variety of reasons. So when I saw Kathy's email or the notice about this pilgrimage, in 1 second, I knew that that was for me. That this was my pilgrimage, and that I was going, and that this was something I really wanted to do. And I had a rather big birthday this year, and this was my birthday present to myself, and this was something that I would do to sort of be the essential piece of my commitment. And that's how I feel since I've gotten here. Being a pilgrim, with all that that stands for, has just suited me. I mean, I love it. I love being on a pilgrimage. I love being inside stupas and in front of them and around them and preparing for them. And everything about this is the second day only, but everything about it has been just all I could ever have imagined. And being able to really formulate aspirations for me and others and all has just made me so clear and so committed, and I want to do it again. I'm hoping we'll have them over and over again, and I want everyone to do them, just because I'm beyond all the words that I'm saying. It almost sounds like I'm just blubbering, because I'm just so passionate about it.
What was unique was that at each stupa that we visited, Lama Kathy requested that we think of an intention. And as we've gone from one stupa to the next, it's been very, very amazing to see that intention kind of crystallize and become more clear in my mind. And so it's just been so incredible. Lama Kathy is a fabulous pilgrimage leader, and the fellow pilgrims have been amazing. So it's quite an honor.
Decided he needed to dedicate the entire book. When he made his dedication, he gave a series of aspirations that are so profound that when you read them, it will show you what is possible for us as human beings. The Buddha, we may think of the Buddha as being external, but the Buddha is also internal. The external Buddha is here in the stupa. The internal Buddha is inside of us, waiting to be born. And so through the practice of bodhicitta, we give birth to that Buddha a little at a time. And so when you read the aspirations in this prayer, you will see why we are taking the Buddhist path, so that we can aid people in so many ways. We are so fortunate to be in the presence of His Holiness the 16th Karmapa, who is embodied in this stupa, and we thank all of you who are here who had anything to do with the creation of this amazing monument to His Holiness and the container for his activity. So we'll go ahead and begin, and we'll do our best to keep chanting.
Amen.
Welcome pilgrimage to Crestone, where I've grown up. The stupas you're visiting here, one of which is the Karma Teksum Tashi Gomang group, and that was essentially my upbringing here. So it's very interesting to welcome you all, having come. When I was only a boy, this was a project my father and the others here in this little remote Colorado community came together to build, from all nationalities, and I got to play around in the dirt, and I got to make all my friends, and I got to be a part of constructing this shrine, which has kind of meant so much to me, even more so as the years go on, and it's kind of a privilege to welcome you all to come visit it and to show you Eye of the Land, the film my father Mark Elliott did to document that whole process of why it was built and just practically how do you do that on a mountain in the middle of nowhere using local resources and construction companies to merge with ancient Tibetan ritual and tradition. So I just wanted to say that I'm pretty into the whole concept of what this pilgrimage is, and I feel kind of privileged to come to Crestone.
Well, I think the first thing that springs to mind, I mean, I've just met the group and everybody's having a wonderful time and speaking glowingly of their experience. And everybody seems to be very, very inspired. And I think it's a wonderful thing because, in a way, it's history making. I spent quite a lot of time in Asia, and one of the joys of being in Asia is being able to do pilgrimage in sacred sites in India, Nepal, Bhutan, even Tibet. But this is a tradition that really hasn't happened yet in the West. So I think you're making history. I'm serious in terms of doing...
Hey folks, we have dessert at the table now.
And thank you. In terms of having real pilgrimage to sacred sites, I think that's precedent-setting, historic, and I hope it's something that continues. I think it's a wonderful thing to do.
With us that has all of our stuff that we need in it, and then we just take everything out and just set it all up.
You guys have been amazing for this pilgrimage, so thank you so very much.
Okay, I'm coming to Crestone all the way from Russia and love this place very much. And yesterday when I met all this beautiful band of people from all over America, United States, come here with devotion in their hearts to pay homage to all beautiful stupas of Crestone, I'm very impressed.
I've got to go. I just have to go. And to be honest, I really didn't think a whole lot about it. I didn't think about so much what the stupas were about, or I just knew that they were something that I just had to see and I had to be around. And coming on this pilgrimage has just really, really underlined that for me. It's so wonderful being with a group of people who are of the same mind, who are doing the same thing and devoted to the same thing. And it's incredibly powerful, and I can't wait till the next one.
Om tare dure so ha om tare dure so ha om tare tu tare tore soha 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 om tare tu tare tore soha.
The different stupas, I think they are all kind of a whole thing. The stupas, the people that caretake it, the place of Mother Nature where it was chosen to be born from the center of the earth, bringing all that energy. Someone today referred to a stupa as a dynamo, and that's what it feels like. We give it an energy, it gives it energy back to us, and it just keeps on going round and round. And I'm so very grateful that I have been permitted to be part of this wonderful pilgrimage. Thank you.
I wanted to say something about stupas, and the reason I wanted to say something about stupas is because I have a connection to them and I don't exactly understand it. When I'm in front of a stupa, or if I'm in front of a set of relics, time stops. I don't want to leave. I feel good. I feel like there's no pain anywhere in my body. And I feel as though there's a lightness in my mind. And I guess for me, that's one of the reasons that I was interested in bringing other people to the stupas. Years ago, there was a relic tour that came to Columbus, Ohio, and it had gone to Cleveland before it had come to Columbus. And I went to Cleveland to see it. It was the first time I'd seen these relics, these incredibly charged, these incredibly spiritually charged particles of enlightened beings, the essence of them, if you will. And I couldn't leave. It was so easy to meditate in their presence. You felt as though you were in a very protected environment. And when you're in front of a stupa, it's the same thing, because there are relics of masters inside these stupas. And there's something stable about the form of the stupa. There's something stable about the feeling you get when you're in front of them. And it almost makes you want to place your hands together. The first time I saw a stupa, I immediately wanted to bow. I had that feeling of devotion aimed towards something great. So I just wanted to say a few things about that, because for me, that was what started it in me, the wish to go to visit them and to take others with me.
Tare tu tare tore soha om tare tu tare tore soha om tare tu tare.
And so seeing him here makes me think about our own transplanting of Tibetan Buddhism in this new land, and how that feels, how it feels to be transplanting Tibetan Buddhism in America, and how each of us will manifest different qualities upon our awakening, just as he manifested great qualities upon his awakening. So making offerings today and making our aspirations today, may we become like him, and may this pilgrimage serve as a reminder to people of the power of inner truth and how they can connect to inner truth and embody it themselves, how they can embody wisdom and compassion for all beings.
Om tare tu tare tore soha om tare tu tare tore soha Om Tare Tu Tare Tore Soha. Om Tare Tu Tare Tore Soha.
So when I heard that Lama Kathy was going to do this Stupa pilgrimage, I was the first person to sign up. And that is because I knew right away that I really needed to go. This has been so very important to me in making a very immediate connection with the Dharma, with the Buddha, with the Karmapa. And I think for me in particular, this is very important because I don't know if I'll ever be able to go to India. And so going to these stupas has been a way for me to immediately connect with the Dharma, with the Buddha, and with the Sangha, and in particular to experience what it's like to be with a group of people who are all going with one heart and one mind to the same place to experience the same sort of thing. I was really amazed at how moved I was when I got to the Tashi Gomeng stupa in particular. There was just something so moving about being there, especially knowing the intensively that went into creating this beautiful place for the Buddha and the Karmapa to be with us. So if you're thinking about going, I would really recommend it. I think it's something that would really change your practice and possibly change your life.
And the first thing I was thinking about was when I first saw the flyer for it, I thought I absolutely have to go on this. I had several years ago written a little bit about stupas, and I was fascinated with stupas. And then many years ago, I was involved with just some work parties, making tsatsas and doing the little scrolls and things in for some of the stupas in the area that we were going to see on this trip. And I never had seen them, the stupas, after they had been consecrated. So that was important to me. Also, I haven't had a Sangha to practice with, and I was drawn to this, and one of the amazing things about being on this trip is I forgot how much I miss being around people and just that we're practicing, and that it was just so natural. There was nothing to explain, and that I really felt part of a group again, and that has just been the most beautiful part of this trip for me.
I don't know, just seeing each of the stupas also, each one has a different perspective, different meaning for me now. And I feel like the ones I loved the most were the ones at Cuesta and of course the Karmapa stupa. When we were circumambulating, I found that one corner in the back it just grabbed me. And I just wanted to stand there and just bask in that feeling. Not a feeling, you can't describe it. It's just incredible. So I hope you get to go on a pilgrimage soon, and bless you.
Pilgrimage to me is a way it's a journey to connect more to yourself and to something greater than yourself. It's amazing to be around the sacred objects and things such as the stupa that contain the Buddha's relics and other teachers. It helps to deepen your practice, I believe, and reinforces the importance of practice. And it was significant for me, especially because my kids are here, and to see them just join right in with the group. And I think they're getting a lot out of it. I think they're enjoying it, and they're learning a lot. And I think it's opening up their heart, because I know it opened up my heart to see them here. So that's what pilgrimage means to me.
I've never been on a pilgrimage before. This is actually my first time being on a pilgrimage trip, and it really has been wonderful. fabulous. We have 19 people total on this trip, and every one of them is kind, friendly, and are so willing to help each other out. And they all bring joys to you as well. So it's just like, it's so happy to find people like you all on the same Dharma path, and that motivates you even more. We have seen 7 stupas total, and each stupa is just phenomenal. Each one of them has its own special story, and when you hear that story, it really inspires you and kind of bring out your Buddha nature, calls out your Buddha nature from inside, and you feel Buddha's wisdom and compassion right there is so powerful. They say when you see the stupa, you see the Buddha. Buddha is actually right there. And by being on this pilgrimage, see every single stupa, you really feel that Buddha's present, and it brought tears to my eyes. Sometimes I try not to cry, but I try to hold my tear. But it's wonderful. You feel like the moment that when you see the stupa, the moment everything just stopped right there. You can really just stand right there and looking at it or staring at the stupa. That's forever. It won't even move. So far, really everything has been wonderful and inspirational as well. If there's another one next year, I will definitely be down there again. Thank you so much.
I turn the music up, I got my records on. I shut the world outside until the lights come on. Maybe the streets are alive, maybe the trees are gone. I feel my heart stop beating to my fingers.